Traveling is often about the thrill of the unknown, but sometimes the unknown can be unsettling, even downright terrifying. These three stories dive into some spooky, eerie, and unforgettable Airbnb experiences where guests encountered more than just scenic views and comfortable stays. From unexplained noises to ghostly presences and even real-life danger, these stories are a reminder that not every stay is what it seems. Iowa Airbnb graduation surprise, a family gathering with an unexpected haunting. Traveling to Iowa for his brother's graduation, the narrator arranged to stay at a cozy Airbnb with his family. The house, a lovely setup with a welcoming charm, seemed perfect for hosting a small surprise party for his brother, who had no idea that family would be joining him to celebrate. As the family gathered, excitement filled the air, along with the typical chaos of setting up decorations and moving furniture to accommodate everyone. While setting up, my brother and I ventured down to the basement to fetch an extra table. Almost immediately upon descending the creaky, narrow steps, a sense of unease gripped us both. We exchanged glances, laughing it off as just a spooky basement vibe. The dim lighting, low ceilings, and cold air made us quicken our search, yet the feeling of dread grew. Joking nervously, we grabbed the table and hurried back upstairs, grateful to escape the basement's eerie atmosphere. As the party picked up, my girlfriend decided to run a load of laundry. She was reluctant to go alone, asking me to accompany her to the basement because of its creepy vibe. This time, however, it wasn't just the basement's appearance that unsettled us. The old washing machine emitted a loud buzzing noise that startled us, a sound so out of place it made us jump. Both of us hurried back up, trying to shake off the dread now starting to color our celebration. After hours of laughter and festivities, family members called it a night, catching their rides back to hotels. Left alone, my girlfriend and I finally began to unwind. As we relaxed, the washing machine buzzer unexpectedly went off again. Confused about why it hadn't buzzed earlier, we braved the basement once more, only to feel more uneasy. After retrieving the laundry, we decided to secure the house, double-checking every door and window, a habit we followed in any Airbnb, reaching the last door leading to the garden, situated right by the basement steps. I felt an intense sense of dread as I locked it. Trying to brush it off, I made my way up the steep attic stairs to the bedroom. Suddenly, a loud metallic clang rang out, echoing in the empty house. My girlfriend, pale with fear, stood frozen as I slowly approached the kitchen. But before I got there, I looked up and noticed the attic ceiling fan spinning wildly, its mounting pole clanging loudly. Gathering courage, I rushed up to shut it off, my heart pounding, the sense of something unnatural lingering. The next morning, the unsettling atmosphere hadn't lifted. We packed our bags in silence, each of us lost in our own thoughts. The house felt colder, the shadows longer. As we loaded the car, a neighbor waved, a knowing look in their eyes. We drove away, the weight of the night's events heavy on our minds. It was an experience we wouldn't soon forget. 2 years ago, my family and I rented a beautiful villa in the hills of Cannes. With a breathtaking view of the French Riviera, we were thrilled to experience this luxurious vacation spot. For the first few days, we explored Cannes, delighted in local cuisine and basked in the Mediterranean sun by the villa's pool. But as the days wore on, an uneasy feeling started to grow. At night, shadows seemed to flit across the windows. Strange noises echoed, and we felt a persistent sense of being watched. One night, I took a stroll around the villa to shake off my unease. But as I walked along the dimly lit path, a figure emerged from the shadows, a tall, imposing man with piercing eyes that glowed in the moonlight. Heart racing, I realized that the man was no ordinary stranger. This was a dangerous criminal, a fugitive, lurking in the darkness, watching us. The man lunged at me, and in a split-second reaction, I dodged, sprinting back to the villa, where I locked every door and window. Inside, he found his wife and children, telling them to stay quiet and together. Whispered threats, footsteps outside, and chilling knocks plagued them all night. The narrator's mind raced with horror as they clung to each other in fear, praying for the nightmare to end. At dawn, the family sighed with relief, hoping their intruder had moved on, but peeking outside, he saw the man hiding in the bushes, waiting. Gripped by terror, the narrator called the police, urgently explaining their situation. Sirens soon approached, lights flashing as officers searched the villa grounds. They found the intruder crouching in the shadows, ready to pounce. The police quickly subdued him, leading him away as he cast one last chilling glance at the family. Relieved but shaken, they packed up, wanting to escape the traumatic memory. As they flew home, the family silently vowed never to forget that fateful encounter and felt immense gratitude to be leaving Cannes unscathed. These stories remind us that travel can sometimes bring more than adventure. From strange sounds and ghostly presences to real-world dangers, each story captures the unexpected and unforgettable. The narrator's experiences have one thing in common. Their lives changed forever in ways they never anticipated. As they returned home, they left behind more than just memories. They left with haunting reminders of the eerie side of travel. The following morning, sleep-deprived and still uneasy, I felt compelled to check the basement one last time. I couldn't shake an odd sensation drawing me down the stairs. Finding nothing, I headed back up to finish packing. Just as we were about to leave, the washing machine buzzer went off a third time. Deciding we'd had enough, we bolted to our car. As we drove away, the host texted back, responding to my message about the washer and fan, but to this day, I wonder what I truly encountered in that unsettling Iowa basement. Farmhouse in October, a trapped spirit longing for peace. In the quiet countryside, a couple and their dog arrived at a remote farmhouse Airbnb on a crisp October evening. The host had kindly left the lights on, making the quaint yet charming farmhouse seem inviting in the dusky twilight. As they stepped inside, the old wooden floors creaked, adding a nostalgic charm and hint of eeriness. They set down their bags, eager for a peaceful getaway away from the city's noise. The haunting begins, footsteps and flickering lights. The first night, the farmhouse's unsettling quiet began to take on a more ominous quality. Just before bed, I heard faint footsteps outside our bedroom door. Heart pounding, I opened the door, only to find nothing but silence. My partner, Sarah, assured me it was probably the house settling, but I couldn't shake a gnawing sense that we were not alone. The next morning, we decided to explore the surrounding countryside, admiring the vibrant autumn colors, yet the feeling of being watched loomed over us. Nightfall and an eerie presence. As darkness fell again, the farmhouse's atmosphere seemed to thicken. While we sat in the living room, the lights flickered and eventually went out, leaving us in pitch darkness. Guiding ourselves with a flashlight, we found the fuse box and restored power, but the air felt heavier, as if something unseen lingered nearby. Trying to brush it off, we retired for the night, only for me to awaken, shivering from a sudden, unnatural chill. An encounter with the spirit. That night, unable to ignore the chill or the unnerving silence, I heard a faint whispering coming from a darkened corner of the room. Heart pounding, I looked over and saw the outline of a woman, her figure ethereal and sad. Trembling, I woke Sarah, but by the time she looked, the spirit had vanished. She tried to reassure me, yet I was certain of what I had seen, a lonely, sorrowful presence. The following days saw a rise in strange occurrences. Items went missing, temperatures fluctuated, and we always felt as though we were being watched. Desperate for answers, I decided to confront the spirit, asking it to show itself if it wished to communicate. Suddenly the air turned cold again and a mist formed, revealing the figure of a young woman with a profound sadness in her eyes. She spoke of being trapped, forgotten, and longing for release. Finding peace and leaving the farmhouse. Determined to help, we spent days researching the house's history, learning of a young bride who had met an untimely death and whose spirit remained bound to the farmhouse. With this information, we performed a ritual to free her. As we chanted, the weight of the farmhouse lifted, the atmosphere changed, and a sense of peace settled. Grateful, but forever changed, we left. always wondering if other guests would sense the spirit's former presence.